Welcome, dear friends, to Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with the laws of love. And the laws of love is this phenomenal book that teaches us about the Spiritist view on suffering. We are on Earth, and our planet is a school to learn, to experience, but many people forget it. So inevitably, we're going to go through scenarios to awaken us. We need to be awakened. And in that movement, you and I are going to be fulfilling God's will. God provides us with a very secure system. How often do you feel safe? Oh, Vanessa, in this world. But it's God's world, right? So where is God in it? Aren't we safe at all? Oh, but I need to be aware. What if something happens to me? Where is God? Where is God? You see, we emit thoughts and sometimes we focus so much on the bad aspects. But let us ask, just by thinking, people say, oh, it's just a thought. This is just a thought. In Spiritism, we learn that a thought is an mental electromagnetic force. It's real. It's matter. We're creating. So in this book, in chapter 5 that we're studying about obsession, there is a particular question that is important for all of us, no matter the topic of our lives. What happens to us morally when we emit a thought? Because people say, I'm just thinking, I'm just saying it. No. If it's like a boomerang, you send it, it comes back. So there is no just a thought. You released it. It has consequences. Like the other day, I saw a child playing like this, screaming, saying, panic, panic, panic. If we just knew that by saying words, the mother approached and asked, what is this panic all about? I'm just playing. But why playing panic if we could play something more? Panic is not good. The discarnate spirits listen to that. It's a code for them. And they go, oh yeah, let's panic. Now we're going to panic for real. And then they start harassing. We need to be careful because there are consequences for our thought. And who would know that there are moral consequences? So the question for Emmanuel was, what happens morally? What happens morally when we emit a thought? Emitting a thought, when we emit a thought, he says, we put an energetic agent in circulation in the organism of life. This agent will fatally return to us, and it will come with more good or more evil in it. It's easy. If you go during the summer and you get a boomerang, you send it out. It's gonna fly and come back, and sometimes gonna bring to you the dust, something around, come back. This happens to us because it's an electric magnetic force, meaning we emit, but it has a magnet connected to us. So it's as if I'm sending it out, bringing it back. So there is no such thing as it's just a thought. Morally, there is good and evil. That's why it's moral, because it's about good and evil. Is this thought good? Is this thought bad? We need to choose. Is this thought good or bad? Constructive or destructive? Oh no, it's just a thought. There is no just a thought. We're repeating because there is no just a thought. I was just thinking. Is this a good thought? No. So it doesn't matter if I was just thinking or not, or I was purposefully thinking. When people say that, they forget that often we're just thinking suggestions that were brought to us from others as well, or from elements inside of us that we don't know, because we don't know ourselves 100%. So now we know. And what happens when we spend time? That's another question. What are the consequences when we focus on evil things, on dark things, on bad things? Some people say, oh, you know, Vanessa, I like reading the news, watching the news, just to know. Okay, so you read all these crimes about it and you don't feel anything, but you're thinking, right? The minute you absorb the information, it's like you're taking a picture. You're storing in your mental field. Now it's in your mental field. It's in my mental field. It doesn't go away. I want to forget it. Now, I pray. And I say, oh my, that crime, why did I read so deeply about it? What are you going to do with it? I need to archive the files in my mental field. That's the difference. So whenever I bring an element in, it's like a card. Look at this. You are experiencing things, saying things, feeling things, doing things, and your mind is registering, like taking pictures, like screenshots. And then you get it, the screenshot. Oh, okay, it's there. Do I like it? Do I like it? It says, walk by faith, not by sight. Yeah, the picture looks so beautiful. Now I want to keep it. That's a good one in my mental field. Think about mental field. Now I get another one. Click. My hope is in you. Wow, I like it. Do you like it? Yeah, I want to keep it in my mental field. Let's say I take a screenshot of something that is pretty bad. Do I want to keep it? How do I edit it? With prayers, visualizations, meditations, and actions on the good. But what if I focus on evil? This is question 12 of chapter 5 of this book, Laws of Love. What are the consequences for those who focus on evil? Now, don't be surprised, because the answer is revolutionary. He says, whenever we focus in any aspect of evil, we strengthen its influence over us and over others. Whenever we focus on any aspect of evil, of the bad, we increase the influence of evil over us and over others. Wow, it's gonna change the way we are in life. It's gonna change us, for sure. It's gonna change us completely. That influence is going to be maximized, of course. Look at something. Keep looking at it. Keep looking. The more you look, the more you enter on it, right? The more you look, the more you enter in it. Like mentally. Of course. But the thing is, we don't enter the observation of evil. It's like mud. The more I focus on evil, the more I am in the mud. What does that mean? André Luiz in the book, The Spirit of Truth, which is the previous book we studied, he says, do not believe in the supremacy of evil, but we on earth, we do. We still believe that evil is strong. It's ever conquering. We need to change that mentality. For lives we've been like this. That's why it's hard. Do you agree? Do you agree? It is true. So Emmanuel is inviting you and I to think of the consequences of a thought. And whenever we focus on something, remember, it's a moral decision. If I focus on the good, seeking the good, I am attracting it for me. So when you see the bad in somebody, the lack, however we name it, evil, we are intensifying its strength and bringing that influence onto us. When I say, oh my gosh, this world, I am bringing more strength of evil in the world. But if I say the world is changing, there's so much good already happening, and I start seeking the good. So we're going to spend the next 24 hours practicing the affirmation. I want to seek the good, feel the good, visualize the good, and mold the good with all the resources we have at hand. I'm going to repeat. This is Emmanuel in chapter 10 of the book Thought and Life. That's the conclusion. If at every thought there behind it, there's a moral decision, there's a moral consequence, we want to focus on the good, feel the good, visualize the good. So let's seek it first in you. When you look in the mirror, oh, I don't like this. My child of God, I am seeking the good. God within me. You won't be able to skip this moment because it's inevitable. One day we look at ourselves as creatures of God and not as our personal creations per se. We're co-creators. But inside of us, there's a beautiful seed. If we just surrender to God, we'll blossom. We need to surrender. And to surrender is to seek the good. Believe in the supremacy of the good. You can either repeat, I believe in the supremacy of the good in me, in others, in everyone. Because I want to seek the good, to feel the good, to visualize the good, to mold this good with all the resources I have at hand. Thank God. And of course, your body's going to reply. He's going to flush out everything that you no longer want because you're cleansing. We're cleansing. Did we get it? Yes. Thank you, Mentor Joseph. We got it. Let's not be surprised by the cleansing process in our lives, because when we want to seek the good, we displace the evil behind it. What a joy, isn't it? It is a joy. We wish you a beautiful day in seeking the good, believing in the supremacy of the good in you, in others, in the world. And thus, we're cooperating with God. We wish you many blessings. And until tomorrow, God willing, here at Kardec Radio, where we're always nourishing our souls.